Good evening, ladies and gents. It is Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, and it is our third. Yes, can you believe it? This is our third talk show. Who would have thought we got even through a second one? But we are here. We are third. We are live on Twitch, and we are talking everything to do with Xbox and PlayStation, among other things. And with me, as always, we haven't scared him off yet. I keep asking him this week, every week, but we've got him. Is my co-host with the mostest is Mr. David Jones. Hello, sir.
Good evening, mate. How are you doing?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you, mate.
Good, good, good. And what have you been playing this week?
Oh, I've been skipping between a couple of games. Carried on with the Red Dead Redemption. Nearly getting towards the end of that. It's taken me a very, very long time.
Right, okay.
Going up the floors in Division 2. Got past
nice.
30 now. Heading
With
up the tower
summit.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, heading up that tower. And then I've been carrying on with Demon Souls. Slowly chipping away at that one. Got about 3 bosses down now, but it's still early days in that game. Some of them are still flooring me.
Would you say that, as we discussed last week, they've said that's probably the best PlayStation launch title so far? Would you agree with that?
It's a very good launch game. Yeah. It depends what you're looking for in a launch game, though. If you want something ridiculously challenging, it's good. But other stuff like, say, Astrobot or Spider-Man are just plain good fun. Yeah. But it's hard to pick a good one. They're all good I've played so far. True.
Well, we're going to talk about a few more games that are coming out this week. It's not been a great game for great week for new releases. It's been a bit lacking on the ground, but I think we've got next week will be there's a fair few. And obviously the week after that's the big one with Cyberpunk. That's going to be a big one. So I could pretty much see us doing a whole show on just Cyberpunk, possibly, depending on what the reviews are. Whether people get their copies on time, we'll see. Let's see what happens. As always, me and Dave have a guest, and this week we have Mr. Paul Newton. Hello, sir.
Hello, gents. How are you?
Very, very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm really good. Far too tired. And I need a holiday.
Well, then you've come to the right place because you're not going to get any of those things. We're going to keep you more tired. You won't get a holiday, but we can talk about something that you love, which is gaming.
Mate, I am a gamer. I when I'm out working and doing sensible stuff, people don't believe I'm a gamer, but I love it. I love the fact that you can go online, you can play games with your buddies who could be anywhere in the world, but you feel like you're right next to each other and you're doing a team-based sport. And I've got mates up in Scotland that I play with, and I live down on the south coast. I've got mates that are 50 miles away the other way, and I've got mates in America that I play with, and I'm just sat in my own living room. Gaming's just awesome. And actually, Paul, isn't a love of Sea of Thieves one of the reasons that we first started to get on?
It is, and ironically, we've never actually played it together yet.
We've never been online at the same time, have we?
No, Dave plays with me. I tend to stream it twice a week on this channel. I'm only streaming it on Friday this week because I will be playing it, hopefully, with Dave and Chris and a few of us. Chris was our guest the first week. But yeah, we'll find a time. We'll do it. I've also found out someone else I've known for years has started playing it. But ironically, they sent me a message saying, I want you to teach me how to play it. I was like, that's cool. No problem at all. And the thing is, they bought a copy of the game, and then they went and bought Xbox Gold Live, and then they went and bought Game Pass.
They did their research, shouldn't they?
And then messaged me saying, I feel I'm being ripped off. And I went, if you told me you were going to buy the game, I would have told you not to, because all you needed to do was buy Game Pass Ultimate. You would have got the game free, and you're only paying £12. And I just went, I can't help you, mate. I really can't. It's just like I felt bad for him.
Game Pass is just a massive game changer.
Yeah, hugely.
Yeah, I think it's going to make a massive difference to the gaming market.
Yeah, it's we discussed this in our first show, how it's already been around for quite a few years. When it first came out, it was so-so. There was a few decent games on it, but not a lot. But that's stepped up massively, especially in the last 2-3 years. And the two things that put the icing on the cake, and we'll reiterate this. One is the fact that they've bought Bethesda.
Yeah.
And we basically talked about this last week. They've said that they're not going to make Bethesda games exclusive, but the day they come out, you're going to get them on Game Pass free. And I was just like, well, that's mint. And then they've merged EA Access, which became EA Play. So you've got all the EA games, all the FIFA games, all the John Madden. But then I got the Star Wars game that come out last year, and I've been streaming that for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't had to pay a penny for it. So, job's good.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I only upgraded to it last month, so I paid the £1 for the 30 days.
Yeah.
And then you got the £12 or something a month.
Yeah.
But literally, I did it, and then my daughter is on the same account as me. So I think in the first month between us, we've probably downloaded 12 games we would have happily paid for.
Yeah.
For £1.
Yeah.
Good
you
value.
look at that, and and I've told Paul before, I'm a massive Destiny player. I love Destiny. I love Destiny 2, and the fact that the latest big expansion pass was included as well.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that going, I've already saved something like 13 months of my payments.
Yeah,
have it, carry on, and I'll keep playing. But yeah, I am a gamer. I'm an addicted gamer. I love my Xbox. It's ridiculous. A man of my age shouldn't have this kind of relationship with a games console.
Well, really? I think this is the thing we were talking about. This different people. It brings people together, and it doesn't matter what age range or what. And this is what I like. But yeah, there's some incredible things. But yeah, the Destiny we talked about. Did we talk about Destiny 2 weeks ago, Dave? The new expansion, didn't we?
Yes, we did. When Chris was on, wasn't it?
Chris was on because we were discussing that. But yeah, it amazes me how many new things come onto it. There's some games coming out next week, which we'll probably discuss next week. One, Call of the Sea, which is a big one, like a detective mystery kind of thing, which looks really cool. Dave already said that's landing on Game Pass, I think, next week.
Yeah, I think I've been looking at that one.
Yeah, I really fancy that game. That looks really cool. So we'll have to see what the reviews come out. But yeah, loads of stuff.
That's another thing of Game Pass, isn't it? If it's a game you were going, I might. Now you go, I'll download it and play it and see how good it is and tell everyone.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's made it quite easy for me to do streaming stuff. So the last 5 weeks that I've been doing this whole thing, there's quite a few games I just nitpick off Game Pass, and every Tuesday night they announce some other new games and things. And I mean, this week, and I'll come on to this, and there's 3 games that one's going to be a game I've already played, but I thought I'll stream it, which is going to be Sniper Elite 4, because I love the Sniper Elite games. One is a game called Hot Rod Racing, which I've never played, but it looks cool because it reminds me of the old Daytona games. And the other one, which I know you're a big fan of, is Rainbow Six Siege. So I'm going to be playing that for the first time ever this week. But it's introducing me to stuff I would normally not touch. And I think out of all the games I've streamed in the last 5 weeks, there's only been 2 that I've gone, yeah, I'm not touching that again. Which, considering I've been streaming about 7 or 10 games a week, is impressive. Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, you love Rainbow Six, don't you?
Yeah. Again, for me, it's the team tactics with your mates. You for the kind of money you can waste on a console, that is nothing compared to if I was paying to play paintball with all of those friends. Now, I've got nothing against paintball. I love paintball. It's stupid. It's good fun, and you hurt each other and all that. That's fine. But realistically, how much would it cost you to go and play paintball for 5 or 6 hours a day with your best buddies? Okay, you would spend a fortune. Whereas you play Rainbow Six, you're up against a bunch of armed terrorists, and it doesn't matter if Paul gets shot in the eye on this one because it's not going to hurt him. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, mate. There's just something about consoles, and especially something like Rainbow Six, where you do need to cover each other's backsides, and you do need to talk to each other about what's going on. And we've all got that one friend who just goes, hooray Henry, and goes steaming in, and you're like, we've lost him, really, haven't we? No matter what happens, we've lost him. And that person on my friends list is Graham. If he's watching that, he knows it's him. But do you know what I mean? I love the team feeling of all these games. And you saying about trying new things, I have never wanted to play a football game in my life. I just doesn't interest me at all. And then the other day, my little one, she's playing FIFA because of Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I've stopped and I'm watching it and I'm going, oh, that's good. And then you sort of sit down with them and you watch it, and she's going, oh yeah, and Dad, and if you do this, and if you do that, and if you do, it's like, okay, I'll download it and I'll play a game with you later.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have touched it before.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, I'm very much a army hero where game consoles are concerned. If there's a shoot 'em up where I can be with my buddies and we have to defeat the big bad guys, I mean, I'm so in for that. Love it.
Right. Well, the question is, do you think you're going to love some of these games that we're going to talk about? As I say, it's a bit of a thin week for new games this week. And ironically, well, 3 of the games are pretty much either already been out, but they've been rehashed. So that shows you what a slow week this has been. But we're going to go with our first game, and we're going to play with what we do. We play the trailers for each game so you get to see what we're talking about. This was a game that originally was going to be called Gods and Monsters when it was first announced. But Ubisoft, it's an Ubisoft game. They've recently changed it to Immortals Fenix Rising. So let's have a look at the trailer for this.
Typhon is free. You need my help. Let the tale of Fenix be my redemption.
Oh, no, not another of your boring stories. How long is this going to take?
We don't have much time. We will be here soon. You're the only one who can stop Typhon from remaking the world.
I was a shield bearer. I tell stories. I'm not in stories.
You're literally all we've got.
I'm going to need allies to go up against Typhon.
The vanquished gods need to be reunited with their severed essences.
Aphrodite? Hephaestus? Athena? I'm looking for Ares.
I am he!
That prophecy is yours. What do you want?
To be a hero.
Now we're talking! You want this glory? Seize it! May the light of 1,000 forges guide your way. Typhon grows stronger by the hour. I swear to you that soldier shall be our salvation.
Now it's up to me to prove it.
Okay, so that is Immortals Fenix Rising, which is out on all platforms this week. So it's on Switch, PC, Xbox, all the Xboxes and all the PlayStations. The first thing you'd probably notice, and it even mentioned this in the trailer, is it looks like Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game.
Definitely listen a few ideas there.
Yeah,
as long as it's the good bits, it'll be all
right.
Yeah,
it's very much nicking a lot of stuff like that. However, obviously, it's from Ubisoft, and thank you to Ubisoft for the courtesy of the trailer. It has got open world aspects, and nearly every Ubisoft game that exists has. Now, this is their third game in the same amount of weeks. We've had Watch Dogs Legions, we've had Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and now this. What are your thoughts on this from just seeing that trailer? Dave, do you want to go first?
So it looks nice on the trailer. Graphics wise, looks cool. Looks like it's got a bit of a comedy to the story as well, which is nice. You don't want everything to be too serious, do you? Nice to have some comedy in it. Some stuff I was reading about it earlier. It sounded like the puzzles in it weren't particularly tricky. It's like a case of do 3 of this, do 3 of that to unlock such and such, so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. And yeah, as you said, it's yet another one of Ubisoft's open worlds. Do they seem to forget there's other genres they could do? Because no one have to be open worlds for pity's sake. You can do something a little bit different.
I think they just need to be called Open World Soft.
I think you're right, mate.
That would be the key thing. Hello to Paul Rose. Evening, who's in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. It's interesting. They say that it's a good idea, generally quite well executed. The tone of the story does change. I mean, it looks like it's quite light-hearted with the jokes and stuff, but then they've said the tone doesn't quite know where it's going. Is that something that would put you off a game, Paul, if you're playing it and you're not quite sure whether it's supposed to be taken seriously or not?
It depends what type of gamer you are. I mean, I'm one that will happily take my brain out for a while and just mess about because I'm there to have fun.
Yeah.
Whereas my wife, she loves like the Assassin's Creed type things because there's such in-depth stories if you want to pick them apart and find loads of different stuff. But what I liked about this was it reminded me of Fable. The Fable games, that bit of humour, you can't take yourself too seriously, but you are going up against these massive dragon-y type enemies. And I've got a special place in my heart for Fable because me and Mrs. Paulie used to play that when we didn't have a house together and we had no responsibilities. So this is one that could go on our list. This is one that could go on the list and go onto the Xbox soon. And you mentioned Valhalla as well. I currently have a hatred for Valhalla because my wife loves it too much and she's nicked my Xbox.
Oh dear.
Mate,
you're gonna have to get a second one.
Don't go there, Dave.
It's nearly Christmas, mate. Put it on your list.
That will be a family of people who never talk to each other because then there would be one Xbox per person and we'd never speak to each other, which does have upsides, obviously. But
you can always be party chat.
Yeah, it'd be like, are you playing your Xbox in the kitchen? Can you make me a cup of tea? Right, okay, yeah.
And you know what? We're the type of family that would set up a train system just to deliver the tea. So carry on, there's your tea. Go away. But no, actually, seriously, this game, I think I would buy it and happily. It would be an argument between me and the wife as to who gets to play. I think this one could be fun. As long as the story does end up going somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes they fizzle out, don't they, right at the end, leaving it open for a sequel, which is point.
Yeah.
But I think looking at this compared to Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion, I think this one probably appeals to me the most out there. Free open world games that have just come out. Just the sort of the tone, the vibe of it just looks more fun today.
Yeah.
See, this is it. Watch Dogs Legion. I still haven't bought that because I felt so let down by the first Watch Dogs. So I'm leaving that until I get enough people that I really trust who go, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But this game, I could see myself buying this in the hope that we love it. Yeah. And then, like I said, I've got a little one as well. And actually, her playing a game with a female lead who knows their mind, I got no problem with that at all. I quite like that idea because she's still playing too many games that have got the bloke as the main character trying to save everyone. So, yeah, I think I would buy this one and see if they both like it.
Cool. Well, I can tell you, I always do this every week. I try and get the average scores from across the internet. From about 7 or 8 different sites, scores averaging about a 7 out of 10 for this one, which is not bad at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it literally comes out in a couple of days, so we'll see how it goes.
I'll watch my credit card and see if the wife buys it then.
Yeah. Right, we'll go on to our first news story, which is kind of our topical debate. And I think we'll get into this. Actually, before we talk about that, I was just going to say, Did anyone actually buy any new games or tech on the Black Friday or Cyber Mondays? Because I have to say, for me personally, I've the last 3 or 4 years, I've religiously bought a ton of games. I've spent a lot of money. I bought a lot of games that are cheap, and I end up getting 4 or 5 games, which I don't play over the course of a year. This is the first Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. I bought nothing because I didn't think, for me personally, there was anything out there that was worth getting, which is bizarre.
No, I didn't get anything this Black Friday. The whole weekend, had the normal emails getting put right in front of your face, the normal adverts right in front of your face, but nothing to the point of, we need to make that choice now.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I don't know, maybe it's because retail has taken such a hit this year. I think they've been trying to entice us all year.
That's possibly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You look back, a week and a half ago, you probably saw very similar deals because they know they need us to come in.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get anything. And in other years, I've seen friends saying, I need to buy this bit of kit. I'm going to wait until that weekend and get an amazing deal. Didn't see any of that.
It's interesting. Dave, did you pick up any decent games or anything over the weekend, or have you found it just to be pretty much same as?
I did pick up 4 games, but there was still a lot of stuff I just wasn't bothered about in those sales.
Okay,
Before the 4 I picked up, I got Control Ultimate Edition on the PS5 because I'd done the base game, but not the DLC. And it was only about £4 more than the season pass to get the Ultimate Edition. So I've got that ready for when it does the upgrade next year at some point. I brought Shadow of the Colossus remake. I did have it on disc, but since I sold off the PS4 and just got the digital PS5, I thought I'd get it cheap just to finish that one off. I brought that WRC 9 on the PlayStation 5 as well, because that was half price.
That last week, didn't we?
I'll have a blast at that one. And then I just picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider for a £5 on the Xbox. So I fancied to go at that again. And for a £5, I thought, why not?
Yeah, it's a good game.
But apart from that,
1 out of the 3.
So. It is definitely a good. Apart from that, no, it wasn't a huge match that really caught me. I think I brought or played most of the stuff I wanted to anyway.
Yeah.
Or it's on Game Pass, waiting for me.
And you think, like you just said then, for a £5, you can't go wrong, can you?
No.
And it's that cheap, you may as well.
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, we'll get on to the main topic of tonight's discussion before we talk about our next game, which is probably the most obvious thing we were going to talk about, which is it's now been a couple of weeks. Xbox Series X and S has been out for almost 2 weeks. PlayStation's been out well over a week now. And it's always that thing is, which one is better? Blah, blah, blah. Or which is selling better? Well, interestingly enough, PlayStation are having it again, by the looks of it, because so far the sales figures are showing that even though it came out a week after, PlayStation 5 is outselling Xbox, and they also managed to get a lot out in the States over the Black Friday weekend, whereas Xbox didn't, surprisingly. And also, there's the fact that Xbox is technically supposed to be the highest spec console and would whoop PS5's ass. But some of the games that have come out, they perform better on the PS5. And Xbox has now turned around and said, well, the problem we had with that was we were only given these games back in June to work on and develop. But the PlayStation got it at the start, some of these games at the start of the year, and that's why they're performing better. So we will get patches further down the line. But if you run comparisons, they actually, some of the games, not all of them, but some of the games are actually running better on the PS5, which is a slightly lower spec console than the Xbox. So as much as I'm an Xbox fanboy, PS5 seems to have it. What's people's thoughts on this?
Dave, I'll let you go first.
It's just early days, isn't it? I mean, come on, they've only been out a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a few bits and pieces like this. As you said, they've had PS5 development kits for longer, so they've got to fine-tune it on those a lot better, which we've seen. But patches are coming out to improve the performance on the Xbox games. Give a few more months, maybe late next year as well. We're going to start seeing pretty good parity between the two. Yeah, I don't tell any difference, I bet you.
Do we think that, again, like we said, I honestly kind of secretly wanted Xbox to kind of go, yeah, we've done it. This is the first time we've kicked PlayStation's ass. But I think the biggest thing that is the shortage of Xboxes, and they're saying that there will be a drought literally until April next year, which is not a good sign. And that's going to be seriously damaging to them, especially as Sony managed to get a load more in and shipped out, ready for the Black Friday weekends and deals, especially in the US. Do we think that Xbox, again, is going to be one of those things where about a year down the line, that's when it's going to start to shift? Because we might see some of those exclusive games that might happen on Xbox. And we're going to see a lot of other stuff being developed and that. So do we think that Xbox could claw it back? Or do you think it might anything could happen? So if PS5 make a bit of a cock up like they did the other week with the download queue thing, you download a game and it just stays there forever and you can't download it. Do we think something like that would save their bacon?
Well, I mean, I suppose PS5, where you say it's got more stock coming in, that's probably all going to the scalpers anyway. Not going to the hands of the actual players.
Oh, we'll
so
talk about that a little bit later.
Much of a difference.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
I mean, we've chatted about this before, Paul. I think you get the absolute fanboys who will never move away from the console they love.
Yeah.
And they just won't. Then you get the people like me who don't really care that much which console it is, but I do care about where my mates are playing.
Yeah.
So you think I've got these guys and girls that I've been in squads with for, oh my God, when did I first get an Xbox? I was living in the 14 years.
Yeah.
Ish. I've been in squads with these people. So the fact is, until all of my squad move, or cross-platform gets much better than it is, I'm going to be staying Xbox. Because it'd be like, walking into a new playground and having no mates. That would be weird. I couldn't do it, Whereas I know, right, if I stopped this, walked into my house and turned on my Xbox, I would lay a bet there's about 8 people online that are in different squads of mine. And straight away, I'd just get messages of, Paul, you're joining, you're coming in. And that's what I want from the gaming experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the chances of getting me to jump ship because something runs smoother, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I mean, what do you guys play mostly?
Well, I'm all Xbox, to be honest, and I have been for many years. Dave plays everything, don't you, Dave?
I do.
See, Dave, I love you.
PlayStation, Switch, VR, PC. If I can find a bit of time, I'll jump onto whatever on whatever platform.
He's been known
multiplayer wise, it's the Xbox though. That's where I play the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Really?
He's been known to be playing multiplayer games with one hand, with a VR headset on the other hand, but using a emotional control on the other hand.
That's it, multitasking.
Yeah.
Basically, Dave's a multi-millionaire and he's got too much money. So I'm going to go hack Dave's account.
Spends all the money on games.
Is that what it is?
No money left.
Yeah.
He hasn't got any money. He's always spending it on the next console or games. That's why.
The family's in poverty, but I've got all the consoles.
They're out the back just eating beans out of tins.
Yeah, and he's having a whale of a time on his VR going, woo, look at me. Looking through the window going, can we come in yet? It's cold.
See, I like Dave now. I'm happy with it.
Cool. Well, we will see how over the course of weeks things will develop. As you say, Dave, it's very early days for this thing, but there's always going to be that competitive streak. The one thing I will say about me is I always rib people about PlayStation. Always, I'm an Xbox fan, so I give them a bit of a rib, but I do have a lot of respect for the other consoles. And if anything, by doing this, I've learned things. So I've been having other discussions with people that Paul knows, who normally I'd be like, hey, you bloody PlayStation or whatever. But I've been going, no, do you know what? Those controllers on the PS are amazing. And I wish Xbox did. And when it gets to the point that the guy from Xbox actually congratulated PlayStation on that, you kind of go, yeah, they don't care. They're just doing their own thing. They're happy to do. There's not that real competition. Last time we had something like this, it was Blur versus Oasis, I think. So,
yeah.
Yeah, but there you go.
Right. Good times.
Good times, yeah. Oh, right. Moving on to our next game. So, ironically, PlayStation. This is for the PlayStation. This is an offshoot from Little Big Adventure. We'll get this up on the stream. Here we go. This is Sackboy, a big adventure. And we'll have a look at the trailer and we'll discuss if this is something that we think will be a success or not. Here goes. If the video works,
Let
there you
me
go.
tell you about a very special place. A planet we call Craft World.
Oh, I do love a warm welcome. Ready to make history?
Like a really should. I'm up on your mind, feeling pretty good. Don't stop it. You in my way. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Okay. It's really good. What you want me to do? And I don't know. Okay.
You're just adorable. That's why I saved you for last. Craft World will be mine!
So there we go. That's Sackboy's Big Adventure on PlayStation 4 and 5. Anyone played the Little Big Adventure games before?
Never. Completely skip past those.
Yeah, they always look quite fun, quite cutesy. This has taken a bit of a departure because it's gone a bit like down the Mario route. And there's been lots of kind of comparisons of this to some of the Super Mario games. It's been backed by a massive soundtrack of some really well-known songs as well. There's like Bruno Mars and other things on it. So they're going to town on the game. But you have to wonder that this has come out a week after Astro's Playroom, which is a game that came free with the PlayStation 5, which we talked about last week, which got excellent reviews because it showcased the PlayStation beautifully. Do you think this could be a game that people would love, or do you think this is unfortunately one of those where it's kind of just going to get forgotten about?
Do you know what? It didn't draw me in at all. I don't even see that drawing my daughter in to play it. When you've got things that have been out for a couple of years that are so impressive and so amazing and keep pulling me back in to play them again and again, seeing the little crafty handmade puppet thing running around, I just horribly, I didn't care about it. I don't think I'd even play it. If you were walking past a game store and it was on the console for you to play for free, I don't think I'd even stop for that. I don't know. It's just, I think I'm not the target market for this game.
I think, would you say that then there's been quite a few Little Big Adventure games? Do you think they're purely going, well, you love those on the last couple of PlayStations, so here's a game for you guys? Do you think they're just catering for that market?
They've got to be. They know they've got a certain type of market that will buy X amount of millions of those. And they're blatantly going, this is an offshoot of that game. Come buy it. But for someone who's never played that type of thing before, it's not going to stop me at all. It's not going to pull me in. And I can't think of any of my circle of friends that would want to play it either. So I'm going to be rubbish on this one. Sorry, mate.
No, don't worry. Dave, what do you think? Is this something, being an avid PlayStation person, was something you catch your eye, or maybe catch your kids' eyes, or what do you reckon?
It wasn't on my radar either. If it pops up in a sale, I might consider a look at it. But obviously, you mentioned it's it comes from the Little Big Planet games. But those were more games where you could build your own levels, design your own games in there. So maybe this is more aiming for the people who just like to go into that game to just play other people's platform creations. I mean, for people who like to create stuff, you've got Dreams on the PS4 now, which is where you can go for that. It's great, get that itch scratched. This will get some people who like the platform market. But I also noticed as well, because it's got that sort of world built out of craft, it reminded me a little bit of Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch. It's just the same sort of aesthetic. It takes all the little craft items you find scattered about your house and builds levels out of them. And that had a lot of charm. If this game's got as much charm as that did, it could be pretty enjoyable. You say it's got a good soundtrack as well. That'll keep
it's got a very good soundtrack.
Head bopping along while you're playing.
They've obviously pumped a lot of money into it. Average reviews across the board. What do we reckon, gents? What do you think this got?
7.
If the reviewers were all Paul Newton, about 3.5.
Well, it got 8 out of 10, which is higher than Immortals.
I was going to say that did it better than Immortal.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah,
it probably shows you where the money is for gaming.
Yeah, I think that's very targeted at a kids market. I think, and obviously fans of the previous Little Big Planet games. So there you go. That's that one. We'll move swiftly on. Talking about the next news story, a term that is being used, especially over that you might know about or you might not know about. It depends whether you're a PC gamer. There is a term called DLSS. Now, I didn't even know what this was until today, but a lot of people have been getting it on their PC and going, it's what? It stands for a deep learning super sampling, or it means deep learning super sampling. Do you know much about this, Dave, before I go into it, or shall I?
I know a bit about it. I haven't got a graphics card that supports it.
Right.
I think it came with the NVIDIA 2000 series.
That's right. So at the moment, you can only get this with any of the NVIDIA tech. And basically, it means you might have a 4K TV, but you might not have a PC that can do 4K. But with this bit of kit, it basically repurposes it and reconstructs it to make it look 4K. So they've done comparisons. So the game actually looks it looks so much better compared to what it is. And you don't need the expensive kit. Hi, Hellsbell. Welcome. Good to see you again. It's quite a clever bit of kit. And they've even said that the way that it will work is when eventually things go up to 8K, if you had 4K, you might even be able to do that. But at the moment, it's not widely available. But I guess for PC gamers, this is a massive thing. Dave, do you want to carry on talking a little bit about it?
Yeah, I can do, mate. I'm not sure how many games support it because it's got to be built into the game to work. I know Control and Death Stranding definitely did it.
Control, Death Stranding. Funnily enough, one of the Tomb Raider games has got it. I've seen a few.
Yeah, it's probably Shadow, Tomb Raider, wasn't it, the latest one?
Yeah, well, Shadow.
Yeah, there's a few games that support it. And it can bring out detail that you don't even get when the game's running at normal 4K. So there's a good example with Death Stranding, where on the backpack, it was bringing out just detail in words and symbols on the backpack that just weren't there normally in the game. All the machine learning that they're using to do this, DLSS, as you say, it's good tech. Whether it could come to console, I don't know. AMD would have to build their own version of it.
It's a clever bit kit. I saw a comparison of a game which was basically a first-person shooter, and on the far wall there's a neon light, and in the normal version it does just look like a neon light. You can't tell what it is, but they had the thing which was basically using the DLSS, and you could actually see from a far distance that it was the shape of a guitar and a neon light or a bar. So all the little details far, far away were crisp as anything, which was amazing. Now, for me, who's someone who's blind as a bat and has to wear glasses, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But if you really, I guess one, if you're streaming or you've got a giant TV for that and you want it to look the dogs, I guess that's something that could could work, couldn't it?
See, what you've touched on there is something I'm worried about, is that I already think a load of technology is far surpassing my own eyes. So I some of this stuff, and I'm at a certain age where you go to read something and you have to move it a few times before you go, there it is, I can see it now. And so I look at some of these massive screens with the decent 4K, and I swear some of them, I'm just looking at them going, my eyes can't handle it anymore.
No.
this television is better than my eyesight. That's not good. That's really not good.
It's the same. She's exactly the same. I swear, some of these comparison videos recently, especially not even talking about PC, but they've said, the difference between the PS5 and the Xbox. I'm sitting there going, I can't tell the difference. No, I know if I put me binoculars on, I probably would.
On the comparison videos, where they slow it down and zoom right in, okay, yeah, I can see the difference.
Oh, yeah, great.
But they're playing it. No. Not going to see it.
Zoom right in and slow it down. Playing Call of Duty. Hang on, give me 5 minutes. I just want to have a look at this wall. Bang, you're dead.
Yeah. I just want to check out the grass on the floor because it looks so... it's amazing. And then you're dead. What happened? Yeah. I did love that, Dave, by the way, that me and Paul are both moaning about our eyesight and you're the only one wearing glasses, right? And there's us two going, we can't see a thing. But maybe we should do something there.
Well, do you know what the funny thing is? This is the only stream on my channel where I don't wear my glasses because it's a talk show. All the ones where I'm streaming, I've got my glasses on. That says something, really, doesn't it?
So what you two are saying is that I need to go and get my eyes checked. You two have done it already.
Yeah, book yourself in.
I mean, if you want. I mean, if it won't make you feel really bad, I'll just do that. And we'll.
Hey, I'd want to add to the bottom there.
Yeah.
Mate, if my wife was watching this, she'd be going, "Yeah, you tell him."
I think someone's telling you the right way because look, there you go.
That's bullying. That's bullying in the workplace.
Yeah, right. So there you go, folks.
Bells. That's lovely.
I forgot to tell you that obviously you can see the chat. I forgot to say if any questions or things, I will bring it up on the stream. So but there you go. So that's DFS sale. Might as well say that as well. Can't get it out. DLSS and everything about that. Let's move on to our next game. So something a bit more serious. Obviously, we've gone from Sackboy. This is a game that has been out again previously on PC, but has now finally made it over to Xbox and PS5. This is going to be Mars Horizon. Again, not a game I know a lot about, but I've recently seen the trailers. But we'll have a look at this and see what we think. We'll have a discussion afterwards. Here goes.
We knew what it meant to get there.
Fenix to step foot on Mars.
How it would change everything. We knew it was our destiny to step foot on Mars. So we didn't let anything stop us.
So there you go. That is Mars Horizon. Hello to PH Gaming. It's just said hello. And Els did say it's not bullying when she's also as blind as a bat. So just to clear up that, just to make you feel a bit better, Paul.
So what she's saying is she cares about me and she's trying to make sure that I can see properly. That's okay. All right. I feel happier now. I'm better now.
We can move on. We can move on
as you put your glasses back on. And just...
I can't, sneakily. Yeah. Mars Horizon. So looks like it's more, obviously, your serious game, more like your what's the word? Like kind of strategy-based game, but not as serious. So there's been other games where you like Surviving Mars. That's quite a good game where you build a colony on Mars. This seems to have a little bit more, as you see again, cartoony kind of graphics and stuff, but has been quite popular on the PC. Has now come to Xbox and that, and literally came out weekend just gone. Are you into kind of games where it's more strategy, more sort of serious, or is that not kind of your thing?
Yeah, this would bring out the geek side of me. This one would bring out the so Paul, I don't know if we've had this chat. I play D&D as well. If we were in real world, I would meet up with certain friends of mine like once a month, and we play role play type games.
Yeah.
Now this one, I could see myself losing time in this and not realizing how much time I've spent on it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the trailer needs a bit more work. It needs to show me a bit more of a reason to go in and play it. Show me a bit more of the gameplay maybe. But this one, dependent on price, I would probably pick this up and go, yeah, let's give this a go, see what we think. And the cartoonified side of it, I actually quite like that. Because if we can get younger kids starting to think about strategy when they're young, which is something that doesn't get covered in schools, it doesn't get you thinking about things differently, about how to help people survive, But this game could. It could pull certain types of people in, make them think along these lines, and actually, do you know what? Give them a bit of a challenge. It's not always about grab the gun and shoot everything that you see. So yeah, I probably would give this one a go, dependent on price.
Okay. I brought up in the chat again, Hels has said that it looked like a theme park builder, but Mars related. Well, we talked about Planet Coaster, didn't we, 2 weeks ago, which is, again, been on the PC for donkey's years, literally landed on Xbox and PS5 a couple of weeks ago, and is basically that great game Theme Park, but like a newer version of it. So I think games like that are excellent. I know, for instance, I've been playing the hell out of this year 2 Point Hospital, which was basically a newer version of Theme Hospital from all those years ago. I absolutely adore it. I can spend a lot of time as well on these games, so I'd be willing to give it a go. Dave, what are your thoughts on it?
So it looks good. I don't get around to play many strategy games these days. I used to like when I was younger. I used to like playing some of the Total War games. Those are good. But it's just the time it takes to really get into the... I don't always get that much time now to really invest in these sort of games and learn the systems and get good at them. So I tend to pick up some of the quicker, easier games just to try out. But it looks good. There's a market, isn't there, on the consoles for these strategy games? There's more and more coming over. As long as it's built well to control with the pad.
Yeah.
Because that's always been the problem. PC was great with the keyboard and mouse for these games. The pad was a sticking point originally, but I think they've been improving them, haven't they? So as long as it plays well with that, it could be quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
You're right, though. This kind of game, I always loved it on PCs. As soon as it moved over to a console, it felt like it lacked the speed for choices you wanted to make.
Yeah.
And there's a load of things you can do on a PC really quickly, but then you'd convert it to 2 joysticks and some pads, and you just go, I can't do this as quick as I need to. But yeah, you're right about it being like theme park hospitals and things like that.
Yeah.
But with those kinds of games, I've always found that you get so far, you get so strong in them that it then just becomes pointless and boring at a certain level. You just go, I've done it. I've got everything coming in really easy, and my whole team don't have to worry about much now.
Yeah.
And that's when I lose interest. To the point that I'd probably nuke the whole world and start again.
Which is what you could do in SimCity. If you think about going back in SimCity, like go, right, I've done this. Let's bring the aliens in or a volcano and nuke the whole lot.
That was the best part, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Watching it all burn.
Yeah, you build it to a certain point and go, aliens. That'll mess them up.
Done. That'll sort it out. I do think they are getting better with these types of games. Again, harking back, again, Hell's saying she's showing her age. Theme Hospital, but to be honest, all of us remember. I played Theme Hospital when it originally came out. I had it on the PC, and 2 Point Hospital, which is its successor, plays beautifully on a console. I think the transition there's gone really well. But then again, she's mentioned that saying the Sims games don't translate as well on a console. I haven't really played the Sims games. Now we've got EA Play free. Maybe I should give them a go on Ultimate. But you know,
see, again, Sims 4 is on the Xbox.
It is,
and Mrs. Paul loves it. She thinks it's brilliant on the Xbox.
Yeah,
I go onto it and just go, no, it feels clunky as anything. I just don't care. No, those sorts of games for me, it's a PC, which is annoying because I haven't got a PC decent enough to game on.
Well, there's a couple of people I'm going to say hello to in the chat. Firstly, Duron, and hello to Mia. And Duron wants to know what we're talking about. We're talking about the game Mars Horizon that's just come out. The funny thing is, Duron, bless him, has been hounding me for the last 5 days. So when's the next talk show? Every stream I'm on. Are you doing a talk show yet? When's the next talk show? When's the next talk? And he's finally here. And even last night he's going, is it time for the talk show? I was like, no, you've got 23 hours and 45 minutes to go. Bless him. And he's laughing there. And hello to PH Gaming. Good to see you. And how's your streaming coming on? Let us know in the chat, because he was asking me a couple of weeks ago what I use for all this stuff. So I hope your streams are going well, my friend. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to a new subject. Now, this is where I think our guest Paul is going to come into his element, because do you want to explain a little bit about what you do, Paul? And then this will show what this next news story is.
Mate, if I explain what I do, you will see all those people who are happily watching just disappearing and changing. Okay, so my name's Paul Newton. The company I own is called Mental Theft. So I'm a magician, a mind reader, and a hypnotist. And basically, I use my skills to steal people's usernames, passwords, PIN numbers, credit cards. I find out your mother's first maiden name. I find out the road that you grew up on. I go for all of the personal information that you want to keep stored and away from scammers. Now, I do this to scare the bejesus out of people and make them realize that their security is worth so much more of their time. Now, this has got me into some interesting situations. This has got me into a very interesting lifestyle, but I look at the world differently to most people. And even in the events world, which is why myself and Paul get on well, even in the events world, I could teach most people how to get backstage to almost any concert they want and never pay for a ticket again. But I then point this out to companies because I want them to cover their backsides rather than getting done by a scammer. So the next bit, when Paul told me what was going on for tonight's show, I actually thought you'd set this bit up, didn't I?
Yeah, I know. This is a funny thing, but this is actually, these next news stories are actually things that actually happened this week. And it's really bizarre. I have to apologise to a lot of people who are watching, because apparently Twitch has gone a bit weird. It says we have got no viewers on our thing, but clearly we have got viewers. And it didn't send, normally it will send a notification when we go live out to everyone, say, hey, we're live. And people have just come on and gone, oh, crap, you've already started, because we didn't realise. So Twitch is obviously having a day. It wasn't us, I promise.
But I just want to say I didn't touch it. I had nothing to do with the password.
It's not us, honestly. The upside, I said, if you've missed any of it, don't worry. We're still here for another hour or so. But if you missed the first hour, it'll be on YouTube. You can catch up on the YouTube channel. So there's a plug from a YouTube channel. So thank you, Twitch, for messing up for a day. I don't mind. But yeah, this was not planned. This is two stories that kind of make one story have happened. And it all seems to center around the PlayStation 5. Because the first, we'll tackle each little bit. The first bit is that there have been a number of scams on eBay, and where people are being coaxed into buying what they think is a PlayStation 5, and it clearly isn't. It's either the box of a PlayStation 5 or it's a photo of a PlayStation 5. But if you read the things carefully in the description, it is what it says it is. But they are going for thousands and thousands of pounds. It's absolutely crazy, and people are getting scammed because what they're not seeing is eBay is very specific in that you have to give the correct descriptions, you have to put it in, so they've got everything in place. But the way they word it, people don't read the whole thing, so they think they're getting a PlayStation 5. So, what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to start with Paul, and then I'll come to Dave, and then we'll talk about how eBay are trying to rectify this, and something else that's now happening with Amazon.
Mate, right. So this scam in the first place, I give talks all around the country and around the world now, thanks to Zoom. And even 6 months ago, I was warning about this scam because it's not a new scam. Now, don't get me wrong, PS5 is a new bit of kit, and the Xbox One series is a new bit of kit, but it's not a new scam. Every time a new phone has come out, every time a new console has come out, this scam comes back up. And you have to do your own due diligence. You have to read the descriptions properly. If you are spending over hundreds of pounds on a bit of kit, it's worth reading the description thoroughly. One of my friends who's a solicitor, he's looked at some of these adverts, and this is going to be a tough case because they have in the description said, this is a photo of a PS5. Now, you know, they're wording it that they're selling a photo of the PS5, but they will put it in very small letters hidden away in a part of it. But the contract states they're selling a photo. This is the problem because then you've got people are sending their money. It then takes X amount of days for the kit to get to them, or not the kit, the photo to get to them. And then the money's gone. But the fact is, they've had the package of the described goods. So as much as I wish this couldn't go on, what are you going to do? Are you going to legally stop people selling something they've actually described on the internet? That's where you hit the real problem, because I don't know what eBay can really do.
Yeah.
Morally, it's wrong.
Yeah. eBay have turned round and said that they will back the consumers. They are doing everything in their power. They made a statement 2 days ago in everything in their power to try and stop these happening. But obviously, if they're adhering to the rules and they're putting in, as you said, the correct things, that's fine. But they will, if people feel they have scammed, they have got a money back guarantee going in place with these things. So they will try and get your money back. So if someone spends $7,000 on a PlayStation 5 photo, then they get the thing and they open the box and it's a PlayStation 5 photo, then you know they can put it in and go, right, this isn't what it is. Yeah. So they're trying to combat that and stop that. But in theory, if scammers get their money, scammers go with the money, as I'm sure. Yeah. You know,
if they're a good scammer, it probably wasn't even their bank account.
Yeah.
Also, then you've got to look at it the other way. Okay. Now, if I'm a scammer and I know eBay are going to stop this and give me a refund if I'm the buyer, I'm going to go and buy a real PS5.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say it didn't turn up. I got a box with a photo of a PS5 in it. So you've now got scammers doing the opposite game.
Yeah.
So at what point do eBay go, we can't do this?
Mm.
You know, horribly, this comes down to the consumer and your due diligence. I would honestly say don't buy off scalpers and don't buy off people that are trying to charge you double the price anyway. Yes, you might have to wait until April.
Yeah.
But you know what? Get the good bit of kit with the warranty on it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the best advice I can give.
They're
going to keep using eBay. They're going to keep using these sites.
I think that's a perfectly good example. I mean, it was mentioned in the chat there about this has been going on for ages with gig tickets, which were being sold as memorabilia. But we've seen this all over the time. The other thing, which
that was a great scam. That was a bad scam. Sorry, sorry. But yeah, this scam has been around for years.
Yeah.
It just changes with whatever the high ticket value thing is. And unfortunately, every single time they prove people will still pay too much money for a PS5.
Yeah. It's mad. We talked about last week about the people that were buying PS5s in hordes and Xboxes and then selling them for. That's technically not a scam. That's technically taking the mick. Frankly, you know, they've got. We'd seen videos, people on TikTok where I just bought 10 PS5s and you can have one of these for £5,000 or dollars. It's yeah. To me, they're just as bad as the other people. They're taking advantage of people who desperately need them. But let's talk about the other scam that's come out literally this week as well. Literally got into the news 2 days ago about the fact that you might buy a brand new console or bought a console and you're waiting for it to be delivered. And Amazon, you bought it from Amazon. I'm quite happy to mention Amazon because actually Amazon are not technically the ones causing the issue here. They send it out with their couriers and you get your games console and then it's in its box and you open it up and you've got a toaster or you've got some irons or as one poor person got 2 bags of kitty litter. This is a new scam that's going around where brand new consoles have been ordered through Amazon, have gone out, and they're still the consoles. They have not been stolen from the warehouse. They have been pre-checked, everything checked on the vans, etc. But what is happening is the delivery drivers are tracked, and because they are tracked, they pull up somewhere close to that address, but then send a message to the person delivering saying there's going to be a delay on your package. And someone reported a 7-hour delay for that item. And then when it turned up, it was a microwave. It was not the console they had. So you get it, you sign for it, but they said the biggest giveaway is when they hand it to you, if it's not got the Amazon tape on the Amazon box, or it has got tape over tape, i.e. sellotape or something, what has happened is that person's pulled up near your address to make it look like they have delivered it. Someone else has come along, taken the item out and swapped it for another thing. Then it's been signed for, and technically the driver has done their job.
Yeah.
And you cannot really claim for that item back. Amazon have stated they're doing everything they can to do the checks, but if the vans are, or the drivers, so I'm not saying it's all drivers, just covering my back here, but if the vans are either being raided or people are doing deals from outside the vans, there's not a lot Amazon can do to stop that because they put everything in place. We'll go to Dave. What do you think about that? And then I'll get Paul's opinion.
Oh, it's just sad, isn't it? All these people waiting for the new consoles and they don't get them.
Yeah.
And they can't get another one anyway because there's no stock. Or scalpers have already got it and selling it for double, triple, whatever the price on eBay.
Yeah.
It's sad there's got to be so many people who are just upset by it, especially if it was going to be a Christmas present for someone.
Yeah.
Probably a lot were.
But this is the thing.
There, what can they do? It's out with the driver.
They hand you the box fills its weight. So now if there was nothing in the box, you'd probably go, hang on a second, and check it there and then. But if it's got a considerable weight in, like Duran said, there's like a toaster in there, you'd go, feels about right, especially as these consoles are getting more slimmer and less weighty. You kind of go, okay, driver goes off, open up the box. Bloody hell, I've got 2 toasters. You know, it's...
And with the current situation, you've usually got the driver who's put the box on your doorstep, gone back to the van, wait for you to open the door, give you a wave, and they've gone already.
Yeah.
Here we go. I've seen a few videos of drivers taking photos of the package at the door and getting off with the package. Yeah, so they've not
there's been a few.
They've basically ticked the boxes of what they've got to do. Funny enough, Duran just said if he got 2 toasters instead of an Xbox, he likes toast, so he'd be happy. So there you go. Again, a poor woman in my local area had someone just through her front door with a mask and a metal rod and make off with her PS5. Just that had been delivered. It's shocking, isn't it?
These things are worth money. They're worth decent money. And there's... Do you know what? A policeman friend of mine said it brilliantly. He said that his job is to keep the 98 to 99% nice people in all of the community away from the 1 to 2% that are scumbuckets.
Yeah.
And do you know the hardest part there is for the ones that have never been caught? Because the ones who have never been caught and have got away with stuff can still get jobs near valuable bits of kit. Now, my horrible thoughts on this is that actually maybe this means places like Amazon will take a bit of a kicking on big pieces of kit. And we all talk about go back to your local high street, go use your high street, use the shops, they need your support. Guys, if you're not buying your kit from a store that you can walk into and you can get the full warranty on it, you know it's in that box, you can open it while you're in that store and check it's in there. You then have the security of that piece of kit in your own hands. Okay? What else is going to get people starting to go back to the high street?
Yeah.
I honestly think that actually the scammers are going to do Amazon out of big ticket sales. You think about it, if people only went to the high street for those purchases, that would actually stop the last 2 scams that we've talked about.
Yeah. It's mad. You have to consider it. It's funny because you go back to the days of warranty. I'm going way back, and Dave might even remember this. Back in the day when I got my first PC, went to PC World, got a warranty with it, bought it all the way back. It was a bloody awful computer, didn't work. And to say that it was really bad, with the fact that when we got it home and turned it on, and a message came up saying, not even that you can switch out of factory settings and start it up, but a machine has said, this has been used for a factory test. This machine is not complete. Do not put for sale. That actually came up on the screen. And I was like, great, I've been sold something that don't work. So straight all the way back down the motorway to PC World, we're here. You can have this back. And I got a new one. But I think, Dave, do you remember that happening to me? We got a brand new PC and it didn't work for the first 2 weeks.
I had forgotten about that one, mate.
Yeah.
Long gone from my memory, I'm afraid.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah.
Paul, before you go on to the next thing, can I ask people in the comments something?
Yes.
I saw someone a minute ago saying that they got here late because they were helping at a food bank.
Yes, that was Mia. Yes.
Mia, right. Do you know roughly where Mia lives?
Coventry.
Coventry. Right.
She has left the chat, by the way, but she'll watch this on Catch Up. I know she was, because she's an avid viewer.
If Mia hears this, tell her to get her address to me somehow. I'm going to send her a present, because if somebody is helping out at food banks, I'll pop her something to say thank you in the post.
All right, awesome. I've got Mia's contact details, because literally as of today, and I might as well tell everyone else in the chat, we set up our Discord for this channel, so you can communicate to me directly and message me. And if you go on the channel page, next to where the YouTube icon is, the Discord is there. I wasn't going to announce it today because I only tested it. But yeah, if you want to drop us a message, but I will get in touch with Mia and we'll get her a little present out there. So that's cool. We will sort that out and I'll contact you, Paul. That's awesome. But yeah, she helps her dad, I believe, with the food bank stuff, which is really, really cool.
Nice one. Nice one.
So there you go. Awesome. Right. Let's carry on with our games and let's talk about, now this is one of the games that I said is a new release, but it's not a new release. This is something, again, I've seen quite a lot of, but never ever played. But this is a version, a bit like Dave was talking about Control, where you get all the DLC included. This is another similar game that's just like this. This is Remanent from the Ashes Complete Edition. And this has literally come out this week. And let's play the trailer for this. That's the first time that's ever happened to us. Never mind. So that is Remanent from the Ashes. I've seen this game advertised a lot. It's got. I'm not even going to tell you the scores across the board because you can see the scores from the advert that they put out. There's lots of 9s and 10s and stuff. But I've never played this, and I've seen it knocking around. I think it was even given away on Game Pass at one point. I don't think it's on there now because obviously they brought out this new version, but it includes all the DLCs. Any of you guys ever come across this or know anything about this?
This one slipped into my radar as well, mate.
No, never played it, but I kind of want to now.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
It gave me a bit of a Dark Souls, Demon Souls vibe, looking at the big bosses and saying death awaits in every world. I'm expecting it's similar to that.
Yeah.
So if you like those sort of games, probably worth a look.
I think this is the thing. It kind of crosses the things. It's got that shooter thing because you've got guns and stuff, but the creatures and bad guys are very, as you said, like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, medieval kind of thing. So I'd like to see how that comes together because, like, again, the one of the main characters has got like a rifle and that, which again reminds me of things like Sniper Elite. I know it doesn't play like that, but it gives that kind of like he's a war veteran kind of character. It really interests me, and it's something that I would give. But apparently they've revamped it, they've recommissioned it, they chucked all the DLC in, and you can get basically like we talked about, like with Control, you can buy a new version of that, this, and you get it all in the one price. It looks pretty cool, to be honest.
Seriously tempted. Seriously tempted for that.
Add it to the Christmas list, mate.
And actually, maybe it's because of exactly what you said. It's D2-ish because you've got the massive guns that you can just go blasting around with, but it's also a bit D&D-ish with the dragons and the mythical type monsters. So yeah, that's perfect for me.
I think it's a game we'll give a well. In fact, I'm going to touch a little thing. You've talked about D&D before, Paul, and I think I surprised you because I talked about this on a Facebook group. It's the fact that I have actually got the Sea of Thieves role-playing game, with board game, and we are at some point. Me and David discussed this. We haven't set a date for when we're doing it, but some point we are going to do a live broadcast of the Sea of Thieves role-playing thing because people do Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch and stuff. Yeah. Paul's just gone, oh my God, I want some of this.
Yeah, I'm in. Let me play.
How we're going to do it with the tech. I just got to figure out when we do it. But it's something I want to bring into this channel for next year. But I think that could be fun because there is, especially over the last 2-3 years, there's such a big market for D&D. And more so now, and I'm going to give them a shout out. I absolutely adore Outside Xbox and Outside Extra, one of my favourite YouTube channels. And they regularly do D&D, and they do it live, and they have like 6 of them on there doing it, and it's hilarious. I've even gone to watch them do it live. They were at a Comic-Con, and I went there just for that, and it made my day. I never thought.
Have you seen Critical Role?
I know of them. I have not seen any of their stuff.
I'll stop there.
It's worth checking out, is it?
It's worth it. I mean, right. So my loving wife, she's awesome. I still don't know why she's with me. She is way out of my league and all of that stuff. She thought I was nuts for wanting to play D&D games. Then she watched some Critical Role with me, and she went, "Oh well, I could give it a go, I suppose," and came with me to a game. And now she's got her own character that she's really proud of and leveling it up. And she's now a level 8 wood elf. And it's just awesome, mate. It's just awesome. And we now watch Critical Role together.
Nice.
And it's, do you know what? It's another version of that gaming friendships that you have, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, if you've got a bunch of mates that you can team up together with and fight some mythical bad guy, and come out of it a bit battle hardened, it's just good fun. And I think that more people need to have more fun. Critical Role is spelled ROLE. Yes, it's on Twitch and it's on YouTube. If you go watch it on YouTube, oh my God, there's like 2 different seasons of it. And the first season lasted for like over 100 episodes. So if you go from the start, you're going to be playing catch up for a long time. And each weekly show is about 4 or 5 hours. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my wife started season 2 a while back, and we haven't even got to the point where COVID has hit the world yet. That's all I'm saying. Okay, you will spend ages catching up. But yeah, Hell's Bell, if you like that kind of thing, have a look at Critical Role. Tell me what you think sometime.
Cool. We will.
I've got off consoles.
It doesn't matter. It's all gaming related, so I'm cool with it. I've just amazed myself how we went from Remanent from the Ashes to that. That was the only bit I was like, well, okay. But yeah, I might as well say this. We are going to do at some point next year on this channel, because, I set up this channel only 5 weeks ago. I've been streaming stuff on it. I then, within the first 2 weeks, decided to basically do a talk show. And I've already decided that I'm next year going to do a flipping 24-hour gaming stream for charity, and that we're going to do this Sea of Thieves Dungeons. So we are going to do stuff that's different, not just me wittering on, which I'm doing right now. Just another platform for me to witter on, really. But yeah, we're going to do different things. So yeah, if you love D&D and you got no friends into it, we might get some of the people in the chat and stuff involved. And again, we'll let us know in the Discord channel, and we'll sort something out, because we're going to be inviting people into games. I am going off topic completely here, but Friday we're going to do something quite different. I'm not doing 24 hours of a talk show for charity. You got to be kidding me.
You could talk that long, couldn't you?
Yeah, he could.
You go on a lot.
I probably could.
Easy to do it, mate. I think that should be a challenge for next year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, all right, Joran. Maybe a 24-hour charity talk show. Maybe.
And actually, Hell's Bell, she says they've got no one to play it with. Facebook, go onto Facebook. There's so many D&D groups on Facebook that you will probably make a shed load of new friends playing games like this.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We, from a couple of Dave will know about this, from one of our Wednesday night Sea of Thieves streams, we got absolutely owned by a couple of guys who have then added us. I've come onto the stream a couple of times and chatted. And then on Friday night's thing, we've invited, because we're going to be a couple of crews short on Friday night on Sea of Thieves, we've invited them into the game. So we are going to get people who follow the channel and chat in the channel to join in some of the games. We've already done that. We've done 2 Saturday afternoons of Jackbox Party, which is hilarious, which has gone down an absolute storm. And actually, they've been some of our best streams. I've been in fits of laughter. The amount of penises that have got drawn on one of the games, which clearly is not right, it just adds to the hilarity. But there you go. Just check out our stream schedule for that. We're not doing Jackbox this week, I have to say, because I've got to cram in a load of other stuff, but Jackbox will be back. Anyway, enough plug. Well, what am I plugging to the channel? Well, you lot of people that are watching anyway love this channel anyway, so thank you. I will not rap battle you. I promise that. Yes, I will not rap battle. Oh, dear. Or is that Duron? Well, you said you could talk for 24 hours. He said he could eat for 24 hours. I don't know, 24 hours. There's people on Twitch that sit here and just eat. Do you know that? I've been doing so much research on Twitch the last couple of weeks. There are channels where people just sit and eat, and they got thousands and thousands of views. Apparently, it's massive in Japan, but now it's coming across here. So you might have your sandwich and eating your sandwich and just sitting there, and people watch you. What the hell is that about?
There's an audience for anything, isn't there?
There's an audience for. Well, let's face it, people are watching us right now, so there must be an audience for anything.
Do you know what?
If you complete all the Game Pass games, mate, just stream your lunch.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to see me eating a sandwich. It's just no.
OnlyFans. Duran says maybe we should set up an OnlyFans eating account. People will be buying into that for the wrong reasons, because they think they're getting something else.
So many jokes I shouldn't say.
Us three eating a sandwich. Oh, what you got? I've got chicken steak. What you got? Oh, I got prawn Mary Rose. What you got? Oh, I've just got cucumber. Ooh, nice. Moving swiftly on. See, this is what I love about this show. It just goes off on a bloody tangent. It's great. There you go. I can't even remember what we were going to talk about. What did we just talk about? Okay, right, news story. Right. Next news story. Oh, it's so got railroaded. Never mind. Next news story. Phil Spencer of Xbox has basically turned round and said in the next 12 months, there could be an Xbox app for smart TVs so that you could play Xbox games streaming on a TV. Now, they've obviously already bundled the Project Cloud, which I tried back in September, which you can. There are a limited number of games that you can play on your Android phone or your tablet, and you can connect your controller to it. And I've Xbox Cloud gaming, exactly. And it works. I played Sea of Thieves on my crappy 3-year-old Samsung phone, and it played brilliantly. But what he's talking about is the next 12 months, you could have it on your smart TVs. The thing with that is, though, assuming they don't limit the games, does that mean in 12 months' time, you don't actually need an Xbox Series X? Let's talk about that.
Well, there's pros and cons, isn't it, to cloud gaming? It's mostly down to quality and latency. So if you look at any of the cloud gaming that's come and gone, or you've got Google's one about having your Stadia.
Stadia, yeah.
It's how good is the connection from you back to the data center. Obviously, Google have done things to try and make it better. But I haven't tried it. Don't know if anyone in the chat's tried it. If they have, let us know.
Yeah, has anyone tried Stadia? I feel bad for them because the amount of adverts I see for it, I don't know anyone that's actually tried it, but it seems to be the laughing stock of.
I think it's their business model's the problem, the amount they're charging for the games. Someone's just mentioned GeForce Now in the chat. I did briefly try that one when it first came out, just have a look, and that streamed one of the Dishonored games pretty well. The quality wasn't quite there, comparing it to your local device, it wasn't as good quality, but it still played well, and it was good because it just joined into your Steam account that you already had. So any games you had in Steam, you could play them. Didn't have to buy anything extra. It was very good. But publishers have started taking stuff out of it, unfortunately, so it's not quite as good. But it was better than Stadia's model, which is just, you've got to pay pretty much full RRP whack for these games, and it's games that have already been out for a while that are cheaper elsewhere.
It even said there, PH Gaming said Stadia's expensive.
Yeah, so, that's its problem.
Yeah.
I mean it'd be a nice other option, I think, if Xbox can put it on the smart TVs. It'll take out that hardware investment if you've just got to buy a controller, Bluetooth connected to your TV, or maybe have a USB dongle in your TV. But you'll have to expect that there'll probably be a bit more latency, and it won't be quite as good quality because it'll just depend on your connection back to their data centers. So it'll probably always still be slightly better to have the hardware locally.
Yeah, I kind of preempted it and said, "What do we think?" Phil Spencer did say after making that comment, he sees that there will be an equal line between the hardware and kind of the streaming xCloud, because I don't think every game is going to come to xCloud. It could possibly get to a point where all the Game Pass games would be, but not necessarily. They said that its streaming is laggy AF. Which is an issue. But I think they cracked it. PlayStation tried it, but don't really talk about it. They have a streaming thing. They don't really mention it. It was never really.
Yes, no.
Yeah,
still around. Still add stuff to it, but
they don't really plug it at all. But I think Project xCloud is pretty damn good for what it is at the moment. I could see this being really good for Xbox on a smart TV. Like Peter said, you could play Warzone on your smart TV, be over the moon. This is the thing. People still don't know that Stadia's out there. I mean, they're plugging it like hell. But, there wasn't really a big launch about it. It kind of came out and the reviews were very average, and then that was it. Joran says he likes Paul. He likes the guy in the hat. There you go.
Thank you, dude. Like you too.
There you go. I think it's that thing that it's never going to replace the hardware, but it's a nice addition to have, because if you think the beauty of a Nintendo Switch, as we all know, is the fact that you could be playing it on the console, other thing, and you literally take the console out and go play it in the car, as long as you're not driving, or play it on the bus, etc., and carry on playing. This is kind of the same thing, because I did the same thing. I had it on the console, and then I went into another room and I'm playing it on my phone. It's cool.
See, this is it. I should love this kind of thing, because the amount that I used to travel all over the place and not be able to game very much, that this would be amazing. But already on the chat, we've got people saying how laggy it is. You've got Dave saying about latency and lag issues. That'll end up me just throwing a controller out of a window somewhere and having to buy a new one every week.
It's better suited to slower paced games, like nice little strategy games, like say 2 Point Hospital. You don't need.
There we go. We'll play Sims. We'll play Sims and the hospital game.
But if Paul tried to do the Doom Eternal DLC, he'd struggle.
Yeah, I know. Bloody hell. Can you imagine that? Dave's seen me streaming bloody Doom Eternal and looking like I want to kill myself after him. Can you imagine me trying to do it on XCloud?
That extra lag, you'd never do it, mate.
Sorry, at one point I laughed because someone just said his eyebrows are on point. That's just...
And they just said they're jealous of your eyebrows.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that. I really don't. And I deal with a lot of hecklers. For me to not know what to say, that's amazing.
I don't think that's a heckle, is it? That's a compliment.
No, I think that's just thank you. I think that's lovely.
Oh dear! As I say, this is so random. I love this.
Seriously, mate, this is the most random show I've ever been on, and I've done a lot of weird stuff. Yeah. Okay, I'm loving this.
Oh, Jordan says, where can he buy your hat?
Where can you buy the hat? If you want one exactly like this, it's really tough. Horribly, I got this one from Matalan about 4 years ago, and they don't sell them anymore. But I've got a selection of hats, Duran. Go through my social media photos, have a look at the different ones. And I only buy cheap ones because when I'm doing magic shows, I normally use fire and I normally end up burning them. So just buy cheap ones. It'll be fine.
Oh dear.
I say this is random.
It is random. It is. It's totally random. That's what
I love this, mate. Can I just come back every so often, please?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We've not had a guest that no one's not liked, so you're already on the list for coming back. Because I said I've got a rotation of. I've got 15 weeks. Well, technically 12 weeks of guests at the moment. So you'll literally be back with us hopefully in like the next 3 months, unless we get guests that no one likes, and then they won't be back. The list will get shorter. So,
seriously, I take it as a compliment. Thank you so much. I'm just very, very West Londonish. I don't know how to handle compliments. That's all it is.
Right. Moving swiftly on to something that you will love. Another game that's having a complete revamp, but it's a game that you love. We were talking about this before we went live on the show. So, Rainbow Six Siege has been around for ages and is still a really, really popular game. They have done a revamped version for the Xbox and PS5. Let's take a look at the trailer for this. Wait, it's never happened before, ever, and now it's happened twice.
Mate, and Twitch went wrong.
There you go. That's Rainbow Six. I think we're going to end up getting a lot of adverts. I normally get it already, so there's no adverts, but I think we're going to get spam with adverts, but it is what it is. I'll just skip. So Rainbow Six, I know that was a mega short trailer. That was the best one I could find, ironically. They've brought it out, but they've not really plugged it because they know that people are just going to go out and get it because it's been... is it nearly 8 years? Is it? That it's been out, or is it 6? It's been out for quite a long time, and it still remains popular. They're still bringing updates. But yeah. 2005, someone said. So it might be 5 years or more. So it could be 6 years. 2015, sorry. Not 2005. Yeah.
It's an epic game. I love playing it. When you know it's all about to kick off and your buddy just suddenly puts up a massive shield to try and guard you as much as possible, or when you're trying to take out a room and one of your mates puts a massive bomb charge onto the wall, and you know, through your talking, your comms, you just kind of go, everyone ready? Yeah, go for it. And you just obliterate a room trying to take it over. Hopefully there's not a hostage in that room kind of thing. But yeah, I love this game. I love this game. And there's a certain group of friends who I love playing this with. And again, we go back to my love of gaming with buddies. This is one of those games that every so often, no matter how long we haven't played it for, someone in a WhatsApp message will just go, Rainbow Six, anyone? And you just see that, yes, on the way. And you know you're just going to have a right laugh for the next 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, I'll be getting this.
You'll be getting that. I have never played it. I've always fancied having a go. Ironically, and people who watch my channel will know that I will play any new games that either come to Game Pass or kind of featured in Game Pass for that month. And surprise, surprise, Rainbow Six Siege is one of those games. And they literally announced that today. It's been on Game Pass for a while, but it's become a featured game. So I'm going to be streaming that this week. Any tips? Because I will have never played it before.
Yeah, get used to ducking a lot.
Right.
Because, and actually, if you've got a rule that me and my buddies came up with, because friendly fire is on, is that if you're in front and you don't duck, it's your fault if you get shot in the back of the head.
Right.
Okay? So if you know you're the type of player that wants to be in front all the time, and we all know that there are gamers like that, if you're not crouched, mate, I'm probably going to shoot you in the head because I'm looking down the sides. But if you get used to that, if you get used to the front man drops, the second man stays up high, then you actually go in 2 guns blazing against the terrorist. It's good fun. It's just good fun. Don't go in there expecting to be the best player every time, because you know the AI is going to just mess your head up and appear from somewhere that you weren't expecting it. But yeah, go in and have fun with it. You know, don't expect to waltz through it and find it as easy as you. Do you know what? At some point, we'll go into Sea of Thieves and you can cover my backside and teach me.
Cool. Yeah.
And crap at that. And I'll help you. And
I'll try my best. I'm not that great on Sea of Thieves. Anyone who's watched the streams has seen how bad I am on that.
Mate, I'm rubbish at it. I
love it.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But as soon as another player decides they want to attack me, it's normally like, ship's going to go.
Yeah, same with me. They just seem to move so much faster than I can.
Yeah. You're playing it on a Series X, Dave, so you think you'd have an advantage, but, you know.
I wish. I need my reactions improved. Reaction, that's what I need.
When there's been 4 of us on a decent ship, we're all kitted out nicely and we've got everything we need, and we're all good gamers, okay? And then 2 kids will appear and just absolutely kick our backsides. We're just going, hold on, what? Did anyone see a skeleton? What happened? I don't know. Okay, we seem to be dead. What? Okay, mate, yeah. See, I'd get my backside kicked. But yeah, Rainbow Six, go play that instead. You'll be fine.
We'll give it a go. Dave, I'm gonna get you to talk about this. So, we had a discussion 2 weeks on the show about the fact that there's a lot of games that are bringing out newer versions. We talked about games. We mentioned Sea of Thieves. Obviously, Sea of Thieves, you can just get that straight on the new console. You don't have to buy a new version. That cuts across. We've been talking about these brand new versions where if you do already own the game, you have to buy new versions. We talked about Control. And obviously, this is one of them. The thing with this, with me, compared to, say, something like Control, because there's no incentive. I loved Control. I'm not knocking the game. Absolutely brilliant. But I wouldn't go and buy it for the next-gen consoles because I've finished it all with DLC. However, games like this, like Rainbow Six Siege, do you think this means that, considering that it's, you know, we don't know, it's somewhere between 5 and 8 years old, that game, and they're still bringing out content like this year, do you think that means they're dedicated to saying, we're going to give you another 5 years of this?
I'd say so.
Do you think that's the plan?
Well, I'd reckon so, mate. You know, they've got to tempt you over onto the new consoles and keep going with this. And as it's the new console, you want it to look the best it can. So they're probably going to up the graphics a little bit. They're upping the frame rate. If you've got compatible TV that can run it at that frame rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they want you to keep going. And you saw how much they stuck with it when it first came out, because it was had a bit of a poor showing, didn't it? I forget what its issues were, but it had quite a few. But they stuck with it and they've improved it, and obviously it's kept Paul going for a long time. Yeah,
and it's become a one of the major esport games as well. They've played like Gears and Rocket League and all these ones, become a major esports game. So it's got that longevity. Go on. If you've got a question, feel free. We'll put that in the chat. What do you want to ask? Chuck it in the chat and we'll answer it.
Do you guys think that people are sticking with a game longer now than they used to?
Yeah.
Because I'm happily talking about Destiny and D2.
Yeah. And
that's been out years. And then we've got Rainbow Six and people going, yeah, I'll still play that. Yeah, I'll still play that. And then we've just seen a load of new releases that us three have gone, I'm not bothered about that one. And I'm not bothered about that one. But that one I might go for.
Yeah.
So are they slowing down on new game sales, do you think?
Well, I would, before we come to answering that question, I think they are in a way, because if you look at the type of games that are coming out, especially over the course of the last year or two, they are games that are going to have a long longevity or put a lot of playing hours. So you've got your type of games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, obviously Cyberpunk that's coming out. That's going to be, you got, 40 hours plus, 60 hours plus, 120 hours plus you'll put into that game. But then you've got these other dedicated games that they keep adding stuff, things like No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves, as we've said. There's loads of, or seasonal content, your things like your Fortnite, Warzone, all these games. I think that is now the model, because if they keep you in for longer and keep adding content, regardless of, sometimes the content's free, sometimes it's not, but you're more likely to buy it because you want to carry on playing that game. Whereas a lot of these games that we have seen, there's less and less of these ones that are 8-hour games that you play and you're done with.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Earlier we spoke about Hyperscape, didn't we?
We did. Hyperscape. Yeah, see, now Hyperscape is one. Do you want to briefly mention that? Because we've not talked about
that. Right, Hyperscape, I love it. It was a free game on the Xbox. I played it for about half an hour, and I straight away decided I'm going to buy the season pass. It was only something like £7 or £8 for the season pass. But I thought, if they can come up with a game where the movement is as fluid as this, and I'm having this much fun this quickly, then I'll give them the £7 or £8 in the hope that they can keep developing it, and it becomes a longer term game. And then you buy one season pass. My next season pass came up to be bought a month ago-ish, I think. But I'd earned so many in-game coins that I didn't have to pay any more money.
Nice.
And I've already earned in this season enough coins to pay for the next 2 seasons. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of person that will go, oh, look, that gun, I could give it a purple paint job, so I have to buy that with the coins. Yeah. I just don't, okay? But yeah, I've kind of gone, you can have my money. I love the game. And now I'm going, I've got too much of the money, and I'm enjoying the game anyway.
Yeah.
So I can see a bit of have they messed up because they're not going to earn enough money from this if I'm their target market?
Possibly.
Now, the only downside that I see to Hyperscape is it promised loads of story content.
Yes.
But you can't, if you're going to enjoy it, it's take your brain out for a bit, have a shoot 'em up player versus player in loads of different possible scenarios. Then you'll enjoy it. But for me, it's the movement within that game. The movement is amazing. And I defy, and just come and try it, okay? Yeah. To the point that my buddy's wife said, I won't like that, I won't like that, I won't like that. She came on one night and tried it with us, and we did a trio team against all other trios. And she nailed it. She was brilliant. And at the end of it, she'd only been playing about an hour and a half, and we got a win against everyone else in the whole map, and she got the final kill. Now, at the end of that, she was just, yes, this is amazing, kind of thing. And there's me and my buddy going, yeah, it is, and you're pretty good too. Stick with it. But yeah, try it. I know there's a lot of bad reviews about it, but seriously, give it a go for a free game. It's nuts.
It's worth a shot. Yeah. PH Gaming mentioned in the chat, Fortnite is something that keeps going. He said the Fortnite, you get more than what you pay. So you practically get a season. I'm not a big Fortnite gamer, I'll be honest, but I know loads of people are. And I've seen some of the content they put out, and I thought that looks really cool. With the X-Men stuff, the Marvel stuff, crossovers, and numerous other stuff. But I think it's a model that people can make more money out of the games over long. Now,
and if you like and you don't want the new paint job, you can stay in game for next to nothing. It's brilliant.
Now, again, we didn't plan this, but I'm so glad you brought up Hyperscape there, because this moves beautifully into our next news story, and you'll see where I'm going with this. So back in September, there was a game that came out that was fairly hyped up, but you'd think would get more of a response because it was Marvel's Avengers. However, it got very iffy reviews, and it's just come out in the news this week that it hasn't even made its money back. So we're 3 months down the line from it being released. Now, I'm going to play the trailer, and I'm going to discuss what they're going to do next with the game to try and rectify that. And you'll see how that ties beautifully, even though we didn't plan it, how that goes. So let's have a look at the trailer, which is a couple of months old, but, for those people who might not have even heard of it, let's have a look at Marvel's Avengers. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to edit all these out.
When I was young, I found an orphaned wolf cub in the forest behind our farm. I felt if I could instill rules, the proper boundaries, I could harness the raw power of that beast. A few months later, while hunting, the adolescent cub turned on me.
We're fixing the damage the Avengers did all those years ago. Inhumans are sick.
Unlimited power, that's dangerous. It's lethal. You are lucky to be alive. Come on, Kamala. Let AIM help you.
I'll take my chances. What if the Avengers were set up? I think you should see for yourself. Couldn't Mr. Stark help us with this?
Hi, I'm sorry. Who are you?
Kamala?
This better be good.
He totally locked Cap in the reactor room, and then he tried to jack the Chimera.
Son of a... Have you all completely lost your senses?
Well, where were you while the world went to hell?
This is our fault. All of ours.
You really think the world is better without us?
Yes. See, it's always been your problem. Running from who you are, what you are, and wanting you.
This is exactly what Tarleton wants!
You struggle against the unstoppable tide of progress, Avengers. Power cannot be controlled. It has to be destroyed. I will rid the Earth of superpowers, even if it has to end with me.
It's just got a whole lot weirder.
So there you go. It's a shame because I remember seeing this at a gaming show in London last year. And I thought, oh, this has got my attention. I like this. But then as I learned more and more about the game as it was coming out, and in fact, I think it was delayed by a couple of months, wasn't it, Dave?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, when it came out, I was just like, I'm not fussed about this. When the reviews came out, they were very average. And on top of that, they basically said, when you finish the game, there's supposed to be this whole end game content, but a bit like some other games that tried to do that and failed. If you remember, about 2 years ago, there was a game called Anthem that was going to be amazing, and they went, it was practically empty, and the end game content was pointless. This is what's happened with this game now. To find out 3 months down the line, this hasn't even recouped the money to make the game is quite shocking, because you think that quite a few Avengers or Marvel fans would buy this. But what they've said now is they are dedicated to, and you'll see how this links in beautifully what we're just talking about, putting more content into the game to keep it going, to recoup that money. What are people's thoughts on that?
When I first saw those trailers, like that story trailer you just showed, I do think it looks like it's got a good story there. But then I don't think that gels very well with the whole live service model they've gone with. If it had been more in the sort of vein of, say, the way an Uncharted game flows, like God of War, the way those good single-player story games flow, it could have been cool. But as you say, they've gone the live service route. Ends up being a lot of repetition in there. It didn't appeal to me. I think the other problem it had as well was the way the loot works in it. I don't think it visually changed your character. So you're getting all these cool things that add plus to this, plus to that, but your character still looks the same. Whereas you go back to something like Destiny or even Anthem, which didn't do well, you get loot and it does change the appearance of your character. So you feel like you're building a character that belongs to you.
Yeah.
I don't think you feel like you get that with the Avengers. Could have been held back that way because of the license. One of those things.
Any other thoughts on this before we move on? Because we've literally got 11 minutes left of the show. I said that we've got the least news and least games to review in the show, and we've actually probably going to end up hitting our 2-hour mark on this one.
Mate, for this one hurt because I'm a massive Marvel fan. I love the films. I really do. And to the point that we paid for a certain streaming service to be able to watch the films in the correct order. Okay. Yeah. But this, I've got buddies who have got it, and I just didn't care about the gameplay. You watch a mate it felt like I've got friends that say they're into it, but they're trying to force themselves to believe that they're enjoying it. Whereas I'm just like, no, I'm not wasting my time on that. When I've got other games that I'd prefer to be playing, and, couple of other middle-aged gamers that I'd prefer to be chatting to be honest with you. I just don't. It was horrible because, like I said, I love the Marvel stuff, but this game didn't care about it at all.
Do we think if they put more content in it, it's going to save it, or do you think that's just flogging a dead horse?
To me, it feels like it's flogging a dead horse. I mean, I know it's got the Marvel branding behind it, but if people are already quitting out of it, it's probably unlikely they'd go back, especially if they've already got shot of the disc. They might have already got rid of it on eBay. It might be one of those things. They might have to shove it over to free to play to attract people back in, or put it on Game Pass to tempt people back in when they've got more content there, when they've improved it.
Do you know what? The statement that they've said really hit it home for me. We're going to put more content in this to get more money out of you. Okay? We're going to put more content in this to recoup our money better. If, however, they'd said, we're going to put more content into this because we haven't delivered what the Marvel fans wanted, I'd listen.
Yeah.
And it's a very different statement, and it bothers me that their statement is along the lines of, we're trying to get our money back.
Yeah, which is what it is.
Yeah, it's exactly what they've said. And actually, do you know what? With such a beast of a company like that, I can't believe that someone from PR didn't go, no, no.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, no, don't say that. Don't say that. But
I think with Square as well, they often seem to overestimate the sales for these games. They did it with Deus Ex and they've shelved that.
Yeah.
They did it with the Tomb Raiders. Don't know what they're doing with those at the moment. I think they need to redo their estimations of sales. They sell way more than not.
They used to be one of the big 4 games companies that put games out, and they slowly seem to disappear. And we've noticed this in some of the gaming shows where, say, like you go to E3 and Ubisoft do a big conference and EA do a big conference and that. And the last couple of years, Square Enix have basically just put out a 50-minute or 30-minute trailer. They've not even done a thing where you can go in and sit. They've just shown an interactive trailer, which is like, think about what you will. We're going to crack on. That pretty much says it all. We did have a question earlier that I want to come back to, which I know, Dave, you can touch on because you've played this. Hal's asked, has anyone played the original Demon Souls and the new one, and how does it compare?
Sorry, I can't help with that. This is Dave.
It's purely Dave's department because I know he's got it.
Very briefly played it, the original PS3 version, just because it came on PS Plus 1 month. So I had a look at it. It was already looking a little bit dated back then, graphics-wise. But I didn't get into the game a huge amount then. But I thought having a look at it, since it was a launch game, since the title, the graphics and the audio up and everything like that, because it just shows off the console brilliantly. And yet in the new version, graphics and the sound, absolutely amazing. The sound especially, some of the sound effects they've put in, absolutely awesome. And the gameplay, from what I know, it's basically the same as it was before. So if you like, your rock hard, Soulsborne games, and you like Demon Souls in the first place, the way it played, you should be right at home with this. It's just the same game, just looks prettier, sounds better.
Yeah. She said she only played the new one. For the fact, it should be testament. We talked about this last week. It was one of our featured games last week. They said it was the best game of the PlayStation 5 lineup. That just says it all, really. So,
it is good. I'm enjoying it so far. It is hard, though.
But you say you think it is better to the original one? You've only played a bit of both, really, then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Still early days. I think 3 bosses so far. I've completed it already. Fair play.
Bloody hell! Right.
Take me a while.
Yeah, that's because he's got 55 different bloody games consoles to play at one time.
I know. I should just concentrate on one thing. I just can't.
I know.
I buy them all.
Right.
Some might say I've got a problem, but well.
No, there's some form of addiction happening there. There we go. Right, we're going to swiftly move on. We've literally got one news story left, and then we've got our featured video of the week, which we do. So, funnily enough, we talked about last week the Monster Hunter film, which allegedly, I'll be surprised, is hitting cinemas this Christmas.
Coming to a streaming service near you.
Yeah, more like that. VAT. And surprise, surprise, it's Paul W.S. Anderson that's directing it, who's famous for basically doing all the Resident Evil films and a load of other films. We basically said he was the schlock director of AAA game films. Basically, he gets a really big budget, but he still makes a pretty average film. And surprise, surprise, his wife, Mila Jovovich, is in it. Well, we had a look at the trailer for the film last week. However, this week, something else has come out, which is interesting. The tables have turned slightly. So you've got Monster Hunter, which has been out for a couple of years now. And what they have done is they're thinking, well, the film's coming out, so why don't we do something to go with the film? So let's have a look at the Monster Hunter World Iceborne crossover with Monster Hunter movie. This will all make sense very soon when I play this video, which may or may not have an advert. And it has got an advert. Oh no, it's starting again. There we go.
This is definitely the place.
That is literally it. That's what I got. It's really short and sharp. But they have literally stuck Mila Jovovich in the game. Coincides with the film. So the question is, was that the plan all along? Right? They knew they were doing a film, so they're going to get more stuff for the film by sticking her in the game, her character from the film in the game. So now, technically, the film is canon, as they would say.
It's a way to do, isn't it? Marketing department probably just thought, get a bit of word of mouth out there about the film, get a few more people out to see it, or sit in front of your TV and your streaming service and watch it. That's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Because I can't. It says it's coming. They're adamant it's coming to cinemas. I just can't see it.
Like, not over here. All ours are shut.
Yeah, I know, and probably going to remain shut this side of Christmas. So
unless they keep pushing it back and back.
No, they're adamant that it's coming out.
Oh,
yeah. So we'll have to see. But yeah, just interesting to see. I've never played Monster Hunter. Would I play it because Mila Jovovich is in it? Probably not, my honest opinion. If I was a fan of the Monster Hunter games, I'd probably lap this stuff up. Probably, because I'd be like, oh, I'm excited for the film. Cool. I can play as her. Fantastic. But not really my cup of tea, to be honest. So I just want to throw that in here. Our last bit, we always put, before we close the show, we always pick a video that we think is of interest. And sometimes it's a funny video, sometimes it's just a bit amusing, or sometimes it's just a bit of exciting news. So far, we've covered everything from Rambo now being in Mortal Kombat 11 to Spider-Man turning into a bin swinging through the streets. So Spider Bin, or Spider Trash, as we called it last week. This one's a bit more exciting news because it was unveiled. I mean, it has been announced that there's going to be a real live Super Mario world, but no one really knew what was going to happen. And a very short trailer is going to come out, and I'm going to show it now. It's literally only 40 seconds long, but Super Nintendo World is coming to Universal Studios in Japan, and it's opening in February. And we're going to show you a video of a very brief look. Now, I got this courtesy of IGN, so it's quite cool. It doesn't show you too much, but it's still, I think, enough to get people excited. So let's have a look at this. So there you go. That is Super Nintendo World, which is coming to Universal Studios in Japan. It looks amazing because that thing isn't fake. That whole world with all the things moving around is real. I don't know how big the whole thing is. Obviously, they mentioned the first ride, which is a Mario Kart. Can we jump on the turtles? I bloody hope so. That'd be amazing.
Yes, we can.
That would be a brilliant. I am so super excited for that. It might only be a small part because like they've done Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars thing. And there is technically only 2 rides, but there's loads of other interactive things. There's lots of characters walking around. You can build a lightsaber. So when you actually look at it, it's not a massive area, but you'd spend a good couple of hours in it. I think this is going to be the kind of same sort of thing, and probably something that they will add stuff to. I can see. And yes, you can probably rescue Princess Peach, I would have thought. So what do you guys think about it?
See, I've watched that and I want to go. I just want to go and play.
Oh, ditto. I just hope for the staff that they've got going around dressed up as the Gumbas and the Turtles, I hope they give them extra padding because you're going to want to jump on them, aren't you?
You're gonna get holiday teams of people like us. At some point, the bloke in the trilby is going to jump on the turtle. And that just sounds so wrong, no matter which way I say it. But you know it's going to happen. I would really like to go to that.
I think it's going to be exceptional.
Yeah, I think my wife might disown me for that trip. And she'll just go, you carry on, Paul. Good luck.
We're going to do it for research. That's it. That's what we say.
That's genius. We should do it for research and get sponsored by a company to do it.
Yeah. Nintendo, if you're watching... No, I'm joking.
How funny would that be if you suddenly got 3 tickets?
3 tickets, yeah.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Great. Packing a bags, we're going when we're allowed to. Oh, dear. So there you go. Yeah. So, ladies and gents, that brings us to the end of our show. Look at that. This is the first show that we've actually hit over the 2-hour mark. I knew I shouldn't have said this. I said we've got the least content for this show just because it's been a slow week of new games. We've done the longest show, ironically. Thank you to everyone who's been in the chat and everyone who's viewed. Thank you to our special guest this week, Mr. Paul Newton.
No, thank you guys for letting me come along and just interrupt your gaming show. I love this. I love it. And hopefully I will see you two in Rainbow Six at some point.
Yeah, hopefully this weekend. So I'll let you know when I'm on.
We'll get it arranged.
We'll get it. We'll make it happen. We might even base the stream around that. I think we might. So give a couple of hours.
Do you know what? I've now got a funny feeling that we're going to go in there and one of you two will shoot me in the back of the head. And then duck.
It'd be like, duck. What, shoot? But yeah, there you go. But thank you for the questions. Thank you for everyone. We will be back next week with another talk show. Dave and me will be here with another special guest. Thank you so much for participating. Sorry that Twitch has been odd. It didn't notify you that we'd gone live, and the count thing has been really weird, going up and down. And we clearly had a load of viewers in at one point, and it was saying it was 0. So it's just one of those things. But if you've missed any of the show, it will be up on the YouTube channel. Go check out the YouTube channel, Middle Age Gamer. That'd be amazing. But all for me to say, thank you so much to everyone, and Dave, my co-host. And we are going to say good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your day or your afternoon, depending where you are watching this. And we shall see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.